Guys, this is Zapsy, and first let me start off this video by saying that the Miami Heat are a good destination for Gordon Hayward and his family. And if you guys enjoyed this video or find it entertaining in any way, please smack that like button and subscribe, and also turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I upload a video. There's more to an offseason than just free agency. You have the draft, you have signings in the front office, and you have trades that can happen during this period. And with the Miami Heat, they just recently drafted Bam Adebayo, and I've watched some summer league games. I've enjoyed that, and right now Bam Adebayo is averaging about 14 points and 9.5 rebounds per game. He looks exceptional in the summer league, and that's something that he can look at going forward. And as I said in my last video, and if you guys haven't watched that, please go back and watch why the Miami Heat and Bam Adebayo is scary, or it's close to that. It's something like that, and it has all those words in it. And just go back and watch that video. And you have Bam Adebayo and Hassan Whiteside. You look at that, like two muscular guys, two guys that can rebound, two guys that can score in the post, and Bam, he can step out, shoot the mid-range. And you have Hassan Whiteside working on this game right now. He's working on his mid-range shot. He's working on his three-point shot. And the future for the Miami Heat is looking bright. So right now, I'm just going to give reasons for each team to sign Gordon Hayward. Utah, you have Gordon Hayward and Rudy Gobert. That's something you can look towards the future with. Secondly, you have the pace in Utah. And then third, you have it being a place that he's played his entire career. Just remaining there and finishing his whole career there. That's something that he may want to do. Be loyal to the franchise that drafted him. That's something that a lot of players in this day and age don't do. They don't finish their careers off with the team that they played their first season with. And so if Gobert and Hayward decide to stay in Utah and they become dominant in a way, then that's good for them. But the West right now is becoming stronger and stronger. You have players like Jimmy Butler being traded to the Western Conference. You have players like Paul Millsap coming in, signing with the Nuggets for 3 years, $90 million. You have Taj Gibson. He's not that big of a deal. He was already in the West with the Oklahoma City Thunder. But there's one player on the tip of my mind that's really skipping me, and I just got it. It's Paul George. You have Paul George also being traded from the Pacers to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Victor Oladipo and Sabonis. And with this, you have a lot of players from the East that were forwards or played as forwards for the All-Star game. And then you have Gordon Hayward, who's a forward in the Western Conference. And then all these guys coming in from the Eastern Conference just creates more competition for Gordon Hayward to make the All-Star game, more competition for Gordon Hayward to make the All-NBA teams. So if Gordon Hayward wants less competition to make the All-Star games, if he wants less competition to possibly make All-NBA teams, goes to the Eastern Conference. But as I've said, the second thing is the pace, and the pace for the Utah Jazz is quite slow, and it's better for a team to have a slower pace because the playoffs does slow down the game, and so a team with a slower pace will have a better time in the postseason, and that's just how it goes. And the Utah Jazz ultimately beat the Los Angeles Clippers because they did have a slower pace. And the third thing I said was staying with the franchise. A lot of people coming in or watching basketball like a few years ago thought that Paul George maybe would have ended his career as a Indiana Pacer. Well, a few people thought. Some people were thinking like he may go to the Clippers or to the Lakers. And that's looking like a real possibility after this next season. And player that it's hard to think of him on any other team is Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid might be on a different team. Who knows? He's going to have to get re-signed next offseason. So we're just going to see how things go. But as I've said, the first thing with Rudy Gobert and Gordon Hayward, you have a nice thing there in Utah. And you have Gordon Hayward being and I did a quick comparison between the two. And Rudy finished second in offensive rebounds for the season with 314. Whiteside finished sixth in offensive rebounds with 293. And also added offensive rebound percentage to this, and the offensive rebound percentage is the percentage of offensive rebounds a player retrieves from a field goal attempt and free throws. And so Rudy Gobert finished the season 5th in offensive rebound percentage, retrieving 13.6 of offensive rebounds while on the court, compared to Hassan's 12.8%. And for all you guys wondering right now where I'm getting all the stats from, I'm getting them from Basketball Reference. If you guys want to go to that website, please do. They have a lot of stats for every single player, their awards, their college stats. So go to Basketball Reference if you want to search up something real quick, some stats of a player that you want to see how much they averaged last season or like 3 years ago. Go to Basketball Reference. And basically, I'm not trying to compare every single stat, but Gobert was 2nd in win shares and 1st in defensive win shares and 10th in offensive win shares, only slightly behind Russell Westbrook, who just won MVP, averaging a triple-double. Gobert's impact is irreplaceable, and this is also seen in the value over replacement stat. And guys, please know that there are a lot of stats that you don't know about. And so Gobert is 8th, only behind Westbrook, James Harden, LeBron James, Curry, Butler, Giannis, and Kawhi Leonard. And this is a good reason for Hayward to stay in Utah. You have someone who's in the top 10 for almost every single type of win share. You have someone who can possibly be a future defensive player of the year. And Gobert is just a monster and is still growing as an NBA player. So if you want to remain in Utah, you have someone in Rudy Gobert who will be your partner in crime for years to come. And reasons for Gordon Hayward to sign with the Miami Heat. Basically, you have Hassan Whiteside, who is similar to Rudy Gobert. I did compare it to saying that Whiteside finished 6th in offensive rebounds with 293, and that Whiteside finished with like 12.8% in offensive rebounding percentage. And the other stats, I don't think he was really high on win shares, but defensive win shares he was up there, but the other types of win shares he wasn't really up there. And with Hassan Whiteside, he's trying to stretch his game out and he's trying to shoot threes. Now he's working on that in this offseason. He kind of developed the mid-range game from the last year, the last offseason. And honestly, today, a big man today needs to be able to shoot. With Hassan Whiteside, you're getting someone that can probably shoot within 15 feet, probably beyond that. And with Miami, you have the whole thing of culture. And this culture is predicated on hard work and encouragement. And for the most part, everyone on the Heat roster wants to come back. So you basically have Eric Spoelstra as well. That's probably going to be my last reason for Gordon Hayward to sign with the Miami Heat, where Eric Spoelstra creates an offense or defense depending on who's on the roster. So when LeBron was on the roster, their offense was mainly post-ups and drives. When Joe Johnson was on the Heat, their offense was mainly around isolations. And so Eric Spoelstra knows what he's doing. He likes to pass the ball. He likes for the offense to pass the ball. But with the players that he has, he develops an offense specifically for them. And that's why Eric Spoelstra is one of the great coaches in the league right now. He's up there with Brad Stevens, Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr, even though with Steve Kerr is questionable because he came into a position with a good roster in Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, Harrison Barnes, Andrew Bogut. That was a good situation for Steve Kerr to come into, and right now it's looking like they'll probably dominate the NBA for another 2 or 3 years. So until then, we won't really see Steve Kerr being pressured as a coach. Honestly, there won't be any diversity bad times for the Warriors in these next 2 to 3 years. And after that, they have to decide who they want to sign. When the front office decides if they want to pay all these guys a lot of money, because in 3 years you have Draymond Green, who become a free agent. In 2 years you have Klay Thompson, who will be a free agent. And so you're just gonna have to decide who you want to pay. Honestly, you'll be like, we're gonna pay you, but we're not going to pay you. And that means the Warriors will be broken up, and this big four will come to an end. They also just paid Andre Iguodala a $48 million deal for 3 years. And honestly, Andre Iguodala right now is 33 years old. And by the end of this contract, he'll be 36. So if you really want to pay that much for someone this old, it's questionable. And honestly, by the time the end of the contract approaches, it'll probably be the time that they'll have to pay Draymond Green. And so honestly, looking at this, I think this will probably be a thing for 2 to 3 years with the Warriors. And with the Heat, as I said earlier, you have all the all-stars basically going to the West through trades or through signings. And then you have Gordon Hayward, who could come into the East. He can be the main factor on the Miami Heat, and the offense will be predicated to him and the other guys on the team. So whatever the team has, their offense will be developed for those guys. So you got Goran Dragic will probably give the ball to Gordon Hayward, play, hey, make some plays, hey, score here, score there, do what you can, and we'll help you out. So the Heat's just a good place for Hayward. And they have guys coming off the bench. Justice Winslow, it's questionable with Bam Adebayo, but they do want to in the future possibly start him at the 4. And I like what I see with the Heat, and hopefully Hayward likes what he sees with the Heat as well, or likes what I see with the Heat as well. And maybe he'll sign there, but he won't make his decision until tomorrow. Maybe, who knows, the 4th of July is when he's supposed to make his decision. I'm not sure if he'll probably make it tonight, late at night, but like, hey, I'm just gonna make my decision like a few hours earlier. And who knows, but the Heat looks like a good destination for Gordon Hayward. As I said, they have Hassan Whiteside. He's basically a slightly less defensive Gobert, but he does have an offensive side to him. They have the culture where there's hard work and encouragement from the players. And you have Eric Spoelstra, who can make an offense and defense for the players that are on the team. He knows how to work with what he's got, similar to Brad Stevens in Boston. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video was getting too long, so I had to end it. I might make a part 2, but it will be after the Gordon Hayward decision. I talked about the Utah Jazz, I talked about the Miami Heat, and if I would have talked about the Boston Celtics also, this video would have been like 5 minutes longer. So I just wanted to end the video here. And as I said at the beginning of this video, if you like this video, smack that like button. And if you want more, please subscribe, turn on post notifications. And a part 2 will be coming, just talking about the off season. I'm mainly talking about the summer league and trades that he can do with players that they have, like possible trade with Justice Winslow, a possible trade with Goran Dragic, but who knows. But that'll all come in a part 2. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is Zapsy, and I'll see you guys in another one.